Hello, everyone. I wish each one of you a very lovely, beautiful, knowledgeable, pleasant morning. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better. One more time. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better. The famous quotation given by Samuel Beckett, the famous Irish novelist. With this beautiful saying, I, Professor Shyam K. Mishra, your moderator for today's session, would like to welcome you all in the induction program of our 22nd batch of the PGDM. So before we get started, I would like to brief you about the flow of the session. Session will be of an hour and 15 minutes. As you all already know, where first 60 minutes will be the session by our guest and the rest 15 minutes will be for questions and answers. You can type your questions in the chat box that will be addressed at the end of the session. Now I would like to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Sanjay Kathayat, the Vice President of Nuance Enterprises Private Limited. Mr. Kathayat had started his career in industry with Amul in year 1993. He worked in quality assurance and production. His 11 years of journey in Amul has been an exposure in quality assurance, quality control, milk reception, processing, product manufacturing, cheese manufacturing, processing and packaging. In year 2004, he changed and entered in edible oil packaging with Adani Wilmar Limited. With new challenges of new field area, did set up the systems with result-oriented mechanism. He was handling multiple locations of 20 plants for packaging operations as country head with good financial achievements. Took up new challenge of transformation. He joined Nuance Enterprises Private Limited as Vice President in December 2018. He is a persona and we are glad to welcome him today as our esteemed guest speaker. So over to you, Mr. Kathayat.
Thank you, Mr. Shyam, for such a nice introduction. And as you very well said that every failure teaches us something, and that keeps on bringing experiences which gives us an enlightenment in our life, in our work, in our every day-to-day things. And when we learn something, we try to improve on those things. So this is a journey of life which keeps on going with all these learnings, failures, success. These are the kind of a mix, you can say. So when we say today, it's like a basket of product mix. The life is a mix of all these ingredients where success is there, where failure is there, where experiences are there, learnings are there, practices are there, everything. So this is a very beautiful combination of all these things that the life which the Almighty God has bestowed upon on all of us. Well, thank you very much once again, Mr. Shyam, for giving me an opportunity to have an interaction with the budding guys who will be coming to the industry and enlightening the industry with their knowledge, skills, and their enthusiasm. So with this, I would greet all of the friends a very, very good morning to all of you. So to start with, since the topic is the expectations that the management from FMCG sector has from the students, from the MBA graduates, those will be coming to the industry, those will be joining them as a team member. So what should be the expectations? A very, very broad topic. And even a shorter time is not going to make a justice to cover all these things, but still I would like to give some of the inputs from my side which has come as a learning during all my entire journey in the industry and that I had gone through. So this is basically knowledge sharing on the subject, and I would like to give some of my inputs, and I would like that the take from whatever the conversation, whatever the my understanding on the subject is there, you get some enlightenment on that. But as I said, the world is not enough to compile and everything put together in a say in the form of presentation and discuss about. This is again the inputs that we get from here is a kind of ingredients for a recipe to make a good food which is tastier. As we also say that because I am associated with the food processing industry from the very start of my career, and since the product taste is something which is the perception of the end customer, and this has a lot of value for us. And that is the reason that if you see the tagline that we have in our brand also is Milons isme pyar mila hai. So everything what we do is we try to put some of our love into that, and the reason is that the end product should come or comes more tastier, which is a very strong perspective of the end consumer. Because why do we eat? We take our food to make ourselves strong, to give energy to our body, to give energy and strength to our body. Apart from that, if it has a good taste, so वो बोलते हैं ना सोने पे सुहागा, so that is a kind of thing, or the cherry on top. So when you have love added into your products, in the making of your product, you come out with a very good, nice product. So that is why this tagline is "इसमें प्यार मिला है." This just part to kick off the session. Moving into further into the detailing of the things which I try to encompass or compile and put it into the slide form as a presentation. We move ahead on that and let us see how what we can learn from that. And when I say learn from the things, I mean it's a learning for you and it's a learning for me as well, because in every day-to-day process, whatever we do, whatever the situation we come across, we learn something. And this should be always be a first thing when we say, because the topic on today what we have is the expectations that the FMCG sector management has from the budding students, the MBA students, which will come and join the industry. So with this, moving to the presentation slide, this is the topic that I'll be trying to cover. As I said, I tried to put the important things which are of larger importance, which has larger impact as a part of the team when we join a company or an organization. What kind of those things which are expected and what we should be focusing on. The first thing is when we say FMCG sector. So FMCG sector is as if you take an abbreviation of this, it's a fast-moving consumer goods. So when we say fast-moving consumer goods, that means it's coming and it's moving and it's going. It's coming, moving and going. This is how it happens. This is called fast-moving because the first thing is that it's a non-durable goods and it's goes to the market, get stock outs from the market as a consumer takes it, consumes it. So a very short-lived commodity, very short-lived products, you can say. And the fast-moving consumer goods, when we say this FMCG sector, it's not only it has a different part of that. I have tried to distribute this in the major four parts of this. which are, one is the food sector, second is personal care products, electronics, and drinks and beverages. There are other industries also which are part of the FMCG, but I have picked up the four more larger industry sectors, which we can say falls under the fast-moving consumer goods. Now coming to FMCG sectors, when we go into the industry-specific things, why the first thing comes how a company or an organization evolves. The first basic thing is the product. We think of some product and that product drives the rest of the things. Say, today, as a manufacturing setup company, we think of a product, say for a food product. For example, I want to make a product which is healthy in terms of when the consumer consumes it. It has attributes of healthiness, totalness. I mean, when I consume it, I feel accomplished that I have taken the complete food, anything. So the product is something first which comes into the mind and comes into the surface. This product now, since this idea has come to the mind, I want to make this product. The rest of the things starts from there. Now, for making product, you need a setup where you will be making this product. This setup requires resources. So when we say setup, this requires resources. These resources, basically, if you say, is man, machines, material. Now, these all resources are in place. We have a setup ready, and when these things are in place, we derive the process, how to make it. That process derivation is done. This process, when derived, is standardized. Why? The reason being, we want to set up a product which has a consistency in the market, which has a quality, and which meets the consumer expectations. So, setup is done, resources are lined up. Then comes, where do we send this product? The product is ready. We send this to market. And how do we send it to market? There is a logistic supply chain which takes care for moving this product to the market. Product goes into the market and goes into the cells, and from cells, consumer buys it, takes it for the consumption. Now, this is an entire process. Next thing comes, for setting up all these things, what is the most important thing? Important thing is the money. You need money, you need cash flow. You may have different mechanism for having this in place, which is banking services are there, loans are there, industry facilitation, subsidies are there, government schemes are there. So these are the things. Now, for us to take forward from here is the resources. And in resources also we'll be specific on the resources, which is first M of 3M is man. When we say man, man means it is a man, woman, a part of a set of people who will be executing, delivering, and running with respect to their different functionalities that are involved in the making process. So this is where our focus will be. So next is, when we say resource, as I said, man, material, machine, process. There is something in this slide which I will come back later on. Yes. So when we talk of the functionality, so when the setup is being done, the processes are being set up, there are different functionality which makes this entire product realization process in existence in realization. These functionalities are procurement, operation, quality, NPD, that means new product development, HR, human resources. Nowadays it is called HRBP, where the terminology has changed from human resource to human resource business partners. Accounting and auditing, supply chain, commercial activities, sales and marketing. One very important part, because now things have changed compared to the time of when it was earlier period of when we joined the industry 28 29 years back, is the PR communication, which is very very important, because lot of social medias are available when you want to do branding, when you want to showcase your products. These things helps a lot. Then comes legal, and all our are not complete without having a role of IT. The IT is one thing in today's time, in the today's digital period, where digitization is the most important thing, which has created lot of automated processes and ease of doing the things. Deliverance made faster is IT, that is the information technology, which is the backbone for each and every functionality that we have mentioned. Moving to the next thing, because now we know, we have seen the product realization process and the functionality. Now comes that the domain specific function requires different set of skills to deliver the best. See, when a company is set up, the company looks for the best of the best things, and for their meeting their functionality, where the people who will be joining them as a team and who are the part of their team, they look how best output can be achieved from this set of resource, which is people. So when we say domain specific functionality skill sets requirement, some of the things are basics. The first thing is that skills. How skilled you are. We will have an elaboration on this a bit more going forward. We will talk a lot more about on this. Second thing is the knowledge. It's your expertise, your knowing of the things that the field you are from, that the field you are looking forward to associate. So knowledge is that your domain expertise. Say for example, if an engineer is there, he has an expertise in the field of equipment, machineries, and a power. So mechanical engineer has a domain specific knowledge of engineering with respect to the machine handling, machine making, machine repairing, and reconditioning, re-engineering. This is what the mechanical engineering functionality domain specific things. If we say a chartered accountant or a person from the financial background who has the domain specific knowledge of finance, of managing finance and expertise in that field, they are having a functionality to get associated with finance department, finance, auditing. These are the two things which are those domain specific. Similarly, there are other domain specific functionalities where Those specific knowledges are required, and people are hired from having those functional knowledge. Then the third basic things of that three core values that each and every employee, a person should have who is looking forward to join industry and also is a part of the team in a company as an employee, as a, you can say, a part of as a contributing factor towards the company's goal. So attitudes is the third one, which is again a set of different traits. We say these are personal traits, and these personal traits, some of them are inborn qualities and some of them are developed over the period of time, and which molds further in and becomes an integral part of our personality. And this is how when a person, when he is meeting someone, when he is delivering something, when he is doing some work, and when he is a part of that team, these characteristics, traits are reflected there. So these are the three main core values to look forward to. As I said, these three core values are a mix of different set of things. One, as I said, on larger aspect is skills, second knowledge, and then attitude. So when we say skills, the skills this covers is goal setting, the time management, reasoning, communication, and interpersonal skills. These are the things which comprises how skilled a person is. So these are the things which anyone, any employer or any sector look forward to have and evaluate a person basis on all these things. Now the very important thing is when we go through a process of hiring, different companies, different organization has different way of doing these things. But the one basic thing, one basic goal that every company, every organization has is to hire the best of the talent. When we say talent, they look forward for these three larger set of things. And in this larger set of things, the things that you will be seeing on your screen here is skills, which is further divided into the goal setting skills, time management, reasoning, communication, and interpersonal skills. Knowledge, again, as I said, these are basic things, the theories that the individual has learned over the period of time when he was studying and when he was gaining the knowledge, learning the experiences, the informations, facts, figures, descriptions, domain specific things. So which decides on the functionality, which field we want to go, and basis on that we take those technical courses after completing our basic education, and basis on this knowledge what we gain makes us eligible to apply for or to go for make our career in that domain field. Now coming to the third part, which is attitude. This is one of the most important part of the skill set that is any organization, any company look forward. But these are something which cannot be evaluated, which cannot be judged during the process of hiring. You can have some of the things where you come up with some examples and ask the person to narrate something which he has went through, which he has liked most, which he thinks that he feels proud of. So those kind of things, those are the things where the company wants to understand on those things. But again, since the time period, the time limit is very, very less to understand and to have a judgment on all these things, this becomes important, very, very important for the students, for the people who are looking forward to join a company, to have these things built in their personality. So when we say attitude, this is the first thing is that self motivation. We'll talk about in detail a bit on this going forward. The second thing is self confidence. Third is integrity. The fourth is honesty. Next is optimism and enthusiasm. Cooperative. I would like to say the cooperative and or collaborative. Next is the commitment. So these are the attributes which makes a person's personality, how he would be, how successful that person would be. These are the driving factors, driving inbuilt characteristics. These are the attributes which will ensure that how the person is going to success in his professional career or also in his personal life as well. Now, as I said, the one of the important thing where we say that these three things are important, and out of that, these is skill sets. The first thing is the goal setting. Now, before understanding goal setting, the very important thing is that why do we talk about goal setting things and or blah blah things that I had been trying to speak about and I have been trying to tell you about. Why these things are required? And I'm fine as a person. I have the things that I think I should have. But again, see, when there is a company, an organization, the organization has a organizational goal, organization, company vision. This vision, this company goal is the first thing which is on the top, and rest everything moves down and gets derived from this. As you said, the creation of Brahman, Brahmaji has created the Brahman, and first the kind of, you can say, the land, that sea, that sky, and the mortal people who are all part of this Brahman was created by Brahmaji. The Brahmaji was the first part from where everything has flown down and created. The company vision and company goal is the same thing, which is the first thing, and from there everything gets dried up. Now, how it happens? Say, for example, or when I'm saying me, I mean my company. My company has a vision that we want to be a company of $2 billion by the period 2025-26. So means next 5 years, I want to be a company which will be a $2 billion company. Now this becomes the company's goal and simultaneously drops down till the last point in the company who is contributing towards the company's goal. So this sets the rest of the process. Now, what are the different processes which will be part of that? As I said, in my previous slide, the functionality. This goal setting has started from one goal. This goal is drilled down, which is moved to the functionalities. And before moving to the functionalities, because there has to be something which makes us to understand how we are doing, what we are doing, is the things, interest of the people. Now a company has something which has promoters who has established the company is the first thing, first pillar. From promoters, there are other stakeholders. Now, when we say other stakeholders, who are these stakeholders? External and internal. So when we talk about internal, this is first the promoters and then the different functionalities and the owner responsible people who are owning those functionality, they are stakeholders. External stakeholders, what my product is, what is my targeted audience, that is the first external stakeholders. So why we are talking about this, why I am talking about this and elaborating more on this, because if we understand this, who are the stakeholders, why we are part of the company, we automatically get set into that group where those all skill sets are required and have importance. So this is why the reason of big elaboration of the goal. Now we say goal settings. The business goals are essential to keeping your entire organization focused on desirable documents, and they also help to ensure everyone is supporting the most critical priorities in your company right now. And when done properly, business goal setting can even motivate teams, drive engagement, and accelerate results. It looks very weird when we see this is one statement with definition which has been being illustrated in this PPT, what business goals are, why these are essential. But when actually you get into that thing, as I said, suppose there is a $2 billion US company that we want to be, the goals drives the key result areas for each and every functionality, and it has to keep the stakeholders in mind at the first place. Whatever the things we are doing, how it is impacting the stakeholders. See, now I am talking about the impact. First is the goal, now is the impact. When you think of the impact, it makes you to get into think on those things. What I am doing, how I am doing, and what is the impact of that. When I start getting into those kind of the process things, it gives me what are the things which are required from me. I need to understand. I started understanding the expectations from me, because key result areas are derived from there. Expectations from me are starting coming out from those key result areas. These expectations, if has to be met, these need certain set of skills, certain set of my approach towards the work. So these are things how they are being driven or drive from there and why they are important. This was just to give a glimpse on that, a background on that, so that we have the right connectivity when we are talking about the skill sets and the engagement on that. Now, everything, this has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. If you remember, if you can recollect the previously when I was talking about the time management, everything we do, because these are part of those process, those ingredients for those process, and that is why those skill sets are required. So time bounds mean a person has to deliver certain tasks with a stipulated given time. So the time management becomes very, very important. Same way, it has to be relevant. So whatever I am working on, the process I am setting on, the qualities that I should have those things is how do I make the relevant things there. It's not only making the relevant things, it's also about the talking about the relevant things, discussing about the relevant things. When I'm communicating with the relevancy on the things that I'm working on. Same way, attainable, measurable, and specific. Until these things are not specific, you will be not focused. If those are not measurable, you will not know where you are going wrong. Possibly, a further elaboration will come on when we move forward on this. Then comes the self-motivation. This is another skill set which is expected from the people who are the part of the team and who are actually the contributors. When I say the team member, it's actually the contributors. See the difference, how it differentiates a team member and a person as an employee and a contributor. When I say contributor, that means as a part of the team member, I have something to contribute. I am contributing something to the company, to the organization. So that is why this contributor, I use this word more when I'm explaining things, when I'm discussing these things. So I use this contributor word a bit more. So now the self-motivation is something, there is something that now think about something that you want to do and something you do not want to do. Now, let's take an example. Say, I want to get up early in the morning. So, I want to be a 5 a.m. club kind of thing, where the early riser have lot of benefits, and the time management is done in a better way. The organization of your activities are done in a better way. So I want to be a early riser. I want to wake up every day at 5 a.m. in the morning. Now I'm thinking on this, but this I want. Let's say when I go sleep, there are so many things which are happening around, and I should have gone to bed by 10:30, and it makes me keep engaged, and I go to bed by say 12:30 midnight, which is a very common thing in today's generation where people work till late night. So now since I have slept late in the night, I won't be able to wake up in the morning. The alarm will buzz and I will listen, and first thing in my mind will come, my hand will go and buzz off the alarm, and I will go back to sleep again. This is something which I wanted to, but I could not do. Now, in actuality, when different situation, because I want it now to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I actually want to. I am just not dreaming it. I am actually wanting it. So what I will do, no matter what, I have very clear thing in my mind that I have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I will go to sleep by 10:30 possibly, because at least a 6 hours sleep minimum is required for a healthy life. So I will plan my things in advance so that I don't have anything to do after 10:30 in the night, and if anything is there, that can be set for the next day activity. So I will go and sleep 10:30. A result, what will happen? I will have the full complete sleep. When the alarm buzzes it, I will wake up, and I will wake up with a smile. This is what the difference is between a self-motivated person and a person who wants to be self-motivated, but he is willing to. He is not actually self-motivated because he wants to, but he actually not into that group. So the self-motivation is a very important thing, a skill set that makes a person making right approach, making right plans, being organized, planning his activities nicely. Lot of things which comes as a part of the attached attributes towards this when we say someone is self-motivated. So self-motivation is the ability to drive oneself to take initiative and take action to pursue goals and complete tasks. Why do a company hire a set of people? Because they have the domain expertise, they know how to do their things, so they make things happening, deliverables executed at their level, and for that, self-initiation, pursuing those goals and actually completing those tasks in time is very important, and hence the self-motivation. Coming to the things, when we say self-motivation, there are four factors which are necessary to build that strongest level of the self-motivation is there. The first thing is that self-confidence. If I am confident, I am self-confident, and when I will be self-confident, when I will have a know-how of the things that I am going to do. So I will be confident on that. And something which I do not know and I am put into that situation, that will not make me self-confident. So then this is a different thing, which is a situational problem and should be dealt with a different way. But for sure, when I say self-confidence, I am sure that I should know that subject, or if I am knowing that subject, it is automatically builds me, I have builds the confidence in me and make me self-confident. Say for example, I am not preparing for the exams that are coming up, and I have attended the class, and I think I have done enough, and I am not going through the study materials again. I am not ensuring that I should look into those things, and I feel that I will do it. That's a confidence, but in a wrong side, where I know some of the things, but I do not know all of the things. When I work on that, I make my homework on that, I go through those things, I revise, make a revision on those things. Then when I'm going to appear for the exam, I will be highly confident on these things. This is what the self-confidence comes from and why it is important. It also is, you can say, is the self-efficacy, because the more the right confidence that we have, because we know, we understand the know-how of the things that I am going to in, will definitely bring a good efficacy in executing those things. Second thing is the positive thinking. Again, I can do it. I will make it. There is nothing which is not possible to do. Those kind of things. There are a lot of quotes on this, lot of things on this, but how do my mind accepts that? How do I inherit those things? That is the important thing. So this has to come. This is expected that a good person, a right hire person will have these attributes. Then the focus and strong goals. How much I am focused on that, it matters. How strong goals I am making for myself. That again makes my attributes coming out nicely with respect to a win-win for me and for the company as well. Again, a motivating environment. This is again where a like-minded people makes an environment, or like-minded, unlike-minded people creates a different environment. We all want to work in an environment where there is a collaboration, there is a teamwork, where I am heard, I listen to others, the other listens to me, those kind of things. And this comes, how this environment is created? By the right set of people who are joining you as a team and part of your team and are the contributors towards the company goals. So this is the very important aspects of those skill sets. Again, we talked about this. So when I say self-confidence, I am in control of things in my life. So you know your strength and weakness well and have a positive view of yourself. Feeling confident in yourself might depend on the situation. So the next is the integrity, a very important aspect which is looked into the industry as a major factor is the integrity. Now, integrity, what is integrity? It is a quality of being honest and having the strong moral principles. When we say being honest is what? Well, मैं मेरा काम अच्छे से कर रहा हूँ, I am honest. Well, there is a larger view of this. When we say the honesty, it is being the integrity, being dependable and following through our commitments. That's the first thing. Second, being open and honest when communicating with others. Third, holding yourself accountable and owning up to your shortcomings. I know what I am accountable for. So when I know that, I know my accountability, I will be focused on those things. I will be delivering my things on that thing. And also, when I know, I also own up for my shortcomings. You know, when you are doing something, when you are executing something, we are all human beings. It happens that the mistakes happens. But when some mistake is happen, we should not shy off saying, sorry, this has happened because of my ignorance and I am responsible for that, and I overlooked this, whatever be the reasons, but since this has happened and it has happened because of me, I should not be shy saying, I had done this mistake, I accept it. So what happens when I accept it? I look into the improvement. There is nothing wrong in accepting mistakes. It only makes you a person stronger in your beliefs, making you a right person to have a control on yourself. Because when you accept mistakes, you really work on that and you try not to repeat it. That's a very important thing. Then respect. As an individual, when people are working in a team with a different functionality, this is one of the major aspects which is looked for and is expected from each team member, that they respect that functionality, they respect that person with respect to his functionality. Everyone has a different set of skills. That's why they are different functionality, different functions in the company, but they work together towards the one goal. So everyone has their domain. So we should respect that everyone, the company looks this as also a part of a skill set that an individual should have who is a part of the team or part of that contributing team. Generating trust. The trust is very important. If we don't have trust, what will happen? We will do things once, and then since we don't have trust, we will try to cross-check that. Now, generating trust is also important, because then since I feel accountability of my things, I will be doing those things rightly, so that there is no requirement of someone checking it again on that. Now, when I say this, I mean, if some task is given to a person, and if that trust is there, if that belief is there, and that accountability is already set there, the person knows it, how to do it, definitely there won't be a second time wasting, time spending on that activity again. Pride. What I do is, is I am proud of. So whatever I am doing, so the things which I am involved into, I am proud of doing this. When will I have proud of that? When I deliver that on 100%. I make 100% my contribution with respect to the expectations from me. This is how the pride comes into. And this is also another important aspect. Responsibilities is the next one, where we say, because the accountability comes only with the responsibility. If we feel we are responsible, then only with that seriousness we work on that. So the parents send us to the good schools, good college. That is their responsibility. But to be seriously studying and working on my goal by adopting this education, which will direct me to move into my career, is my responsibility. But not wandering in the streets, going to cinema, not attending classes, that is not responsibility. So I'm just illustrating these things so that the connectivity comes and the understanding comes on that. Then keeping promises. In a company, when we say that keeping promises is important, it is the commitment. So if we commit something, we should ensure that we keep those promises. If I say that some task has been given, assigned by my leader to me, and I judge it and I say that approximately by this time I will be completing it. So this is my commitment which I have given. Let's say, for example, by next 2 days, by this time I will complete this task. So that is a commitment from myself. But if I don't meet that, you know what happens? When I had a commitment, the boss has or the leader has taken that commitment from me, and he understands that I will be giving it by that time. He had planned the next step on that. But if I fail in this, my leader fails into that. The entire process is fallen. So very important, the commitment, the promises that we make, we keep it. Then next comes the when we are working as a team, it's always is a helping each other. How do we can be a helping hand to others so that we are collaborating each other? Mr. Sam, can we have a video on that collaboration? There is a small video. You know, it's a very important. Yeah.
Hey.
Some problems are just too big and too complex for any one person to handle alone. For these challenges, we need to collaborate. But what does that mean? Collaboration is more than just working together with others. To really work together effectively, especially when resources are tight, we need to invest in good collaboration. Good collaboration means sharing the responsibilities, risks, benefits, and the credit. Good collaboration also means that everyone who is involved works toward a common goal. To do that, we need to know our limitations, leave our ego at the door, keep an open mind, be physically and mentally present, ensure everyone has an equal voice, invest trust to get trust, step out of our comfort zone, value each other's contributions. There are many benefits of a good collaboration, such as engaged and empowered members, increased capacity to solve complex problems, strong relationships grounded in trust, honesty, and respect, efficient use of resources, and a greater overall impact. Remember, we are stronger when we work together. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sam. So we can come back to the slide again. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So now we have seen how that collaboration can do the wonders. The activities that we do individually, but which has a common, when there is a common goal and when we collaborate together, how fast things happen and how total perspective of the entire things changes. And this is how the collaboration. It's an animated representation on that collaboration, but highly effective, which I thought I must share with you because this gives a very strong message and very good clarity on how collaboration works. Well, time management, again, we have talked about this. It's a very important characteristics or attributes that a person should have, because this brings the efficiency, this brings the accuracy, and also meets the commitments that we have made. So all this put together, being a very effective contributor, this is a very important thing. And not only when you are joining a company or a company looks forward to this kind of attributes in a person, it is also for our personal goals, our personal life also. This is something which plays a very, very important role and makes us an effective personality as a person. These are again the part of that which contributes towards time management. Yeah, be intentional, prioritize your things, be focused, be structured, and be self-aware. Somewhere we have talked about a bit on those things in the different way in my earlier discussion or explaining those things to you. So we move to the next one. Yeah, very important, the interpersonal skills. Again, how effective a team member can be. It also depends upon how these interpersonal skills are part of that person's personality. When we say interpersonal skills, these are behaviors and the tactics a person uses to interact with others effectively. When we say interaction, it's a communication. And when it is a internal communication, external communication, verbal communication, written communications via mails, via letter, those kind of things. And when it is a verbal communication, it is over the phone and a personal discussion. Those things are there. So how effectively you can make it happen is the traits of your behavior and the tactics that you use. These are the skills we use every day when we communicate and interact with other people, both individually and in groups. As this has a great impact on day-to-day working and crucial in getting the desired expected results, makes it an important requirement. Now, you know, the communication is so important, so effective it has to be, or it is, that there are both sides of this. If we do not make the effective communication or the right communication, we'll end up in trouble, or we end up in not meeting our goal. So just to share here, a small animated video is there on the communication. Yeah, Mr. Shyam, if you can run that small video on communication.
Finally, Tanya was very excited to meet his dream boy David on their first date, and David was also too thrilled to meet Tanya. They decided to meet at 10 at a coffee shop near their house the next day, and David was there exactly on time. He called up Tanya to inform her that he had reached, but she didn't pick up. He waited 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, and kept calling, but she didn't pick up. He got very depressed and at the same time angry. On the other side, Tanya was peacefully sleeping, and finally she woke up at 10:30. The first thing she did was check her mobile. She saw David's missed calls and was puzzled to see 13 missed calls in the morning and called him up immediately. He was too irritated and started shouting at her that where is she and he had been waiting since last half an hour. Well, what was the confusion all about? Let's rewind it again and see. When both spoke to meet at 10, Tanya assumed that it would be PM, and David assumed it would be AM, and none of them confirmed about the same. They both started arguing and blaming one another. Tanya says, who wakes up so early on Sunday? And David says, who has coffee at 10 in the night? So as you saw, just an AM PM caused so much of an issue because their communication wasn't clear.
Thank you, Mr. Shyam. So now you have seen that how a improper communication, unspecific, can cause a disaster, because the time set was 10 a.m. for coffee, and the girls thought that it's